What's going on, guys? TKD once a video, and we are back with another Battlefront gun review. We haven't done one of these in a while. That's just because there hasn't been an update or DLC as of late, but now we got Death Star DLC out for Battlefront right now for past owners, and it'll be out in about 2 weeks, I think, for regular standard users, you know, you peasants. However, within this DLC, we are brought the TL-50 Heavy Repeater, which I'll be reviewing. I just got it this morning. I've played like a couple games with it, I think around, 5 or 7 or so. I feel like I have a good grasp of the gun. I feel like I have a good grasp of how I feel about it. So I'm just gonna let you guys know my opinion and my review of the TL-50 Heavy Repeater. Now it says this gun is a heavy blaster, but I really don't feel like this name is really telling of the gun. I feel like this is kind of a misleading name for the gun. I just feel like it's kind of misleading in a lot of ways that I'll get into later in this video. But it says it's got a pretty low damage, which is true. It has a pretty low damage per shot, but what really saves it and what really makes this gun extremely well and extremely powerful and really good in a lot of aspects in game is that rate of fire. That rate of fire is full. That bar is a full rate of fire bar, and it is extremely fast at firing shots off, and it's a very high rate. And also at that, it has very good range as well. Its range is extremely well for a gun that has a rate of fire that well, because you would usually see that guns that have a high rate of fire to have a low range, but this gun is a complete opposite. For whatever reason, they made it have a really good range tied in with the rate of fire, you know what I'm saying? So those two definitely counteract the low damage that it has. And along with that, the cooldown is pretty average. It's not anything crazy. It's a pretty decent cooling power. It's actually not the worst thing in the world, you know what I'm saying? I never ever found it obtrusive or anything that ruined me in game, but it is kind of just like a run-of-the-mill regular rate of cooldown. But how do you get this gun? Well, how you get this gun is you first got to get the pack, right? The Dead Star pack, okay? And then also for the Hutt contracts for this weapon is going to be 20 kills while playing as the Empire, so that's pretty easy to do. 75 heavy blaster kills, which is going to take you a little bit of time. It took me about, I want to say 2 or 3 games, but it ain't not 2 or 3 games, actually a lot more than that, but it is not the worst thing in the world to do. And along with that, you have to win a round of Battle Station, the new mode that we got with the Dead Star pack, and that is probably the easiest out of this whole thing, guys. You just gotta win a round, okay? And there's 3 rounds in that entire game mode per game, so just win one of those 3 rounds and you'll knock that down real quick. Now, how did I like the gun? Now, the gun I felt was extremely powerful. I was actually really surprised at how much power this weapon dealt. Like, it was a very strong weapon. It is a very strong weapon, and it is something that you are definitely going to want to get if you have this pack. You're gonna have to really want and really get this gun, like, for sure. Like, this is a top tier, guys. This is not a gun to mess with. This is on the same level as the Rebel V10, one of my other favorite guns in Battlefront that are also of that high standard, and this is no different. This gun melts people, guys. This gun melts, and yeah, it fires at such a high rate that you have to cool down pretty often. I'd say pretty often. Like, you're not gonna get anything like crazy where like a 4-man spray or whatever. Like, you're not gonna get that because you're gonna have to have that gun cool down. But if you're with one guy that's in engagement with you, or like 2 guys, you can melt that 1 guy or 2 super easily. Like, this gun melts at an incredible rate, and it's something that is borderline overpowered. I would say this is borderline OP. Like, this gun is really efficient and really good. And this is something that you could say about a lot of the guns in Battlefront, but this gun is a absolute laser. There's no recoil, there's nothing involved at all with this gun. And one thing that I found interesting is that you cannot zoom in and aim in with this weapon, but there's a reason for that. It's because the L2 button is used for a other gun that's on this gun, right? So it's another mode of fire, and it just basically shoots out a energy projectile that does a high amount of damage, and it's basically at a lot of times a 1-hit kill. And just having that other mode of fire is where really it just kind of just screamed OP to me, right? Just when it has that other power, that could be your last grace in a fight that can actually get you the kill and actually actually have you win that engagement. You know what I'm saying? Like, that backup fire mode is so useful, and it's so useful at taking out multiple people. Even like, I think I got a triple I got a triple with just one shot of those, and it is just so cool. Like, this gun just has a lot of cool things about it that makes it just really good, and I really advise you all to pick up this gun off of the Hutt Contracts. I really do encourage that, because this gun, you will dominate, it'll melt. It's a very good gun. If I were to have a negative about this gun, I really do feel like the cooldown, kind of looking back at the gameplay and kind of like, you know, trying to just putting myself back into when I was playing with it, you did have to cool down a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of times where I had to stop and let my gun cool down, you know, which is kind of a negative, but you know, that's a trade-off, guys. That's a balancing thing. They're not gonna have a gun that is like this and have it cool down not as frequently. You know what I'm saying? That's just not gonna happen. It is just used so that, you know, you are not completely a complete, you know, killing machine Rambo looking dude out on the Battlefront. But at the same time, I did not find that rate of cooldown to be that big of a deal when using the gun in game. And so yeah, that was my review of the TL-50 heavy repeater. I really do encourage you all to pick up this gun from the Hutt Contracts ASAP. This gun absolutely melts. Very good. If I have to give it a rating, what, 10 out of 10, A+, whatever, this gun is super good. If you guys enjoyed the review and enjoyed the content, I want to make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. I appreciate all the feedback you guys give me. Also down below, leave me a comment if you guys have used this weapon. Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? Also, let me know what you guys feel about the DLC as a whole. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.